Intermediate Algebra for Statistics, Graphing Linear Equations, Lesson Objectives, Graph linear equations using the slope and the y-intercept, graph linear equations using the intercepts of its graph, graph linear equations using 3 points. Lesson Objective. We'll begin with an example. Sketch the graph of 2x plus 3y equals 9. Solution. We first have to put this equation in y equals mx plus b, so we can use the y-intercept and the slope to help us graph the equation. To begin, we need to isolate the y, which means we want to get the y all by itself on one side of the equation. So our first step is the y is on the left hand side of the equation. We want to eliminate 2x. We want it to go away. So if we subtract 2x to both sides of the equation, this 2x and this 2x cancel, and we are left with 3y equals negative 2x plus 9. Now the next step is we need to eliminate the 3, and since the 3 is multiplying the y, we are going to do the opposite and divide. And again, we have to do it to both sides of the equation. So we divide by 3, and every term on the right hand side gets divided by 3. So simplifying, the 3's cancel, we're left with y. Negative 2x divided by 3 is the same thing as a negative 2/3 x, plus 9 divided by 3 is 3. So since 2x plus 3y equals 9 can be put in slope-intercept form, we know that it's a line. The y-intercept is 0, 3, and the slope is a negative 2/3. We can verify our result by checking that both 0, 3 and 3, 1 are solutions to 2x plus 3y equals 9. So we have our graph here. Here's the y-intercept, and if we use our slope, negative 2/3, that means that we rise a negative 2, we go down 2, and then we run a positive 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's where this point 3, 1 came from. Now what this point and this point and any point on this line means that each order pair will be a solution for this equation. Example 2. Sketch the graph of negative 3x minus y equals 12. So again, we want to put this equation in y equals mx plus b form. So again, our first step is y is on the left hand side of the equal sign. We need to get rid of this minus 3x. So we're going to do the opposite, and we're going to add 3x. Now if we add 3x to the left hand side of the equal sign, we have to add 3x to the right hand side. These cancel. We have negative y, or that's the same thing as negative 1 times y, equals, now these are not like terms, we can't combine them, so we just write them down, 3x plus 12. We could say 12 plus 3x, but we want this to be y equals mx plus b. Our last thing that we need to do is to eliminate the negative 1, so since it's multiplying, we do the opposite and we divide. So the negative 1's cancel, we're left with y. Bring down our equal sign. Negative 3x divided by negative 1 is negative 3x. Positive 12 divided by negative 1 is a negative 12, so that would be plus a negative 12, or we can just say minus 12. So the slope is a negative 3 over 1, and the y-intercept is a negative 12. Our slope is 3 over 1, so we're going to rise 3, run 1. Our y-intercept is negative 12. So we begin at our y-intercept, negative 12. Now we use our slope, we go up 1, 2, 3, and then we go to the right 1, positive run, 1, 2, 3 over 1, 1, 2, 3 over 1, and we have enough points to sketch our line. So we just connect the dots, and it helps to have a ruler here. Put an arrow, and then here we have our sketched line. Lesson objective: intercepts of the graph of an equation. For an equation containing the variables x and y, to find the x-coordinate of the x-intercept, we substitute 0 in for y and we solve for x. To find the y-coordinate of the y-intercept, we substitute 0 in for x and solve for y. Now, to use intercepts to graph the equation, these are the steps that we follow. Number 1, we want to find the intercepts, both the x and the y. That gives us 2 points, an x-intercept and a y-intercept. And then number 2, we plot these points and a third point on the line, and we graph the line containing the 3 points. Let's do an example. Example 3. Consider the equation 5y minus 2x equals 10. Number 1, find the x-intercept. Number 2, find the y-intercept. Number 3, sketch the graph of the equation. So number 1, we want to find the x-intercept. So we substitute in 0 for y and we solve for x. So our equation becomes 5 times 0 minus 2x equals 10. 5 times 0 is 0, so we're left with negative 2x equals 10. Dividing by negative 2, we see that x is negative 5. So the x-intercept is a negative 5, 0. Number 2, to find the y-intercept, we substitute 0 in for x, and then we solve for y. So our equation will now become 5y minus 2 times 0. So we're left with 5y equals 10. Divide by 5, and we see that y is equal to 2. So the y-intercept is 0, 2. Next, we want to find the third point that's on this line. So I'm going to pick 3 for x, and then I'm going to solve for y. Now you can pick whatever x you like. I'm picking 3. So our equation becomes 5y minus 2 times 3 equals 10. 2 times 3 is 6. We're left with 5y minus 6 equals 10. Add 6 to both sides and we get 5y equals 16. Divide by 5 and we get 16/5. Now 16/5 is the same thing as 3.2. When you try this, it's probably a good idea to pick an x that is divisible by 5, because at the end we're dividing by 5. But I'm going to use 16/5. So 3, 16/5 is a solution. So it's a point that is on the line. So we have our 3 points. So x-intercept is negative 5, 0. The y-intercept is 0, 2. And then this point, 3 and 16/5 is on the graph. So it checks. Let's look at another example. Consider the equation 4y minus 3x plus 12 equals 0. Find the x-intercept, find the y-intercept, sketch the graph of the equation. We'll begin by finding the x-intercept. To find the x-intercept, we let y be 0. And we solve for x. So 4 times 0 is 0, so we're left with 3x plus 12 equals 0. Adding 12 to both sides, we see that this becomes negative 3x equals a negative 12. Dividing by negative 3, we see that x is a positive 4. So the x-intercept is 4, 0. To get the y-intercept, we let x be 0. So this becomes 4y minus 3 times 0 plus 12. This becomes 4y plus 12 equals 0. Subtract 12 to both sides. We're left with 4y equals a negative 12. Dividing by 4, y is a negative 3. So the y-intercept is 0, negative 3. To get the third point, we pick an x and then we solve for y. I'm going to let x be equal to 8, something that is divisible by 4. So the equation becomes 4y minus 3 times 8 plus 12 equals 0. So this becomes 4y minus 24 plus 12 equals 0, which we're left with 4y minus 12 equals 0, which gives us 4y equals 12, and hence y is equal to 3. So our third point will be when x is 8, y is 3. So we have our 3 points: x-intercept, the y-intercept, and then a third point when x is 8, y is 3. So now all we have to do is plot these points. So the x-intercept was a positive 4, so we go to the x-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we put a dot. We go to the y-axis, and we go down to negative 3, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. And then for our third point, when x was 8, y was 3. So we go x, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up 1, 2, 3. It appears that the points fall in a straight line. So we connect the points, put our arrow on the ends, and we have our sketched graph. Thanks for watching.